Hi. Hi, everyone. What's going on? How's everybody feeling? Oh, wait. Here's someone I got to tip. All right, yo. Welcome. Officially, welcome. This is actually officially the first Metaverse Pow-Wow in the Initia server. Um, but unofficially it's the second because the first one was right after the first ever So Meta where I was answering basic questions about the project, and obviously that was about 2 months ago. So this one I felt needed a little bit of a different vibe so we can really tackle something that's really important in the space. Oh, here's another one. Um, yeah, and that subject is taxes, but not only taxes in relation to crypto. Many people have sent me random DMs even before I even introduced this, right? They would ask me questions, and I'm like, hey, I'm not a licensed financial advisor. Um, it's like what we say on a regular basis. We say, hey, it's always NFA, and it's always DYOR, and that's still the case. That's still the case right now. It's always going to be DYOR above everything else, which is at the root of this event tonight, where obviously I'm not a financial advisor, but I do feel like everyone has had experiences in some form or fashion in regards to dealing with taxes and crypto, and also your fears. I kind of want to highlight your fears, my fears, everyone's fears, and see if we can find ways of really having a full understanding of this thing. Because I think most of the fear is based on the fact that we don't know enough, in order to protect ourselves. So hold on. Yeah. So, all right, this is how tonight's gonna go, right? Um, I have a bunch of links, right? I have links as in like I have links to resources that I've researched through. I actually don't expect people to research the same way I do, which is part of the reason why I've kind of aggregated just a few things, just post into the channel. Also, everyone else, feel free if you're speaking, you're more than welcome to do the same. Getting some weird audio feedback. Yeah, you're more than welcome to do the same. You can share links, share a video in regards to something that's talking about crypto taxes, right? And again, remember, just because someone is talking about the subject, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's like correct. It just means that, hey, like, they're providing information, and it's always up to you to like do your own research, because at the end of the day, that's all it really is. Like, it's up to you to do enough research in order to satisfy what needs to be satisfied in terms of handling this particular thing. Hey, in regards to my voice, is everyone getting some like a choppiness, or I keep hearing a little weird playback in my audio right now? Just want to make sure. So, no choppy on your end. Just give me 1 second. Might be here. Right. All right. Okay. Yeah, okay. So this is how it's gonna go, y'all. Um, I'm going to unmute microphones, right? We can have a collective discussion. No, this isn't Clubhouse, right? I'm not saying it like that, but like I want to open it up so we can really discuss particular things, so we can all kind of be on the same page and really just have like an understanding. I also have a clip or two that I may play behind me, right? So obviously behind me you see where my dope ass graphic, whatever is playing. I will switch it out for a YouTube clip, and I'll attempt to play that. So it may answer a couple of questions, and we also have a couple of brand new members who are knowledgeable in regards to crypto taxes. If they decide to come through and share some wisdom and talk about their projects too, that'll be awesome. But if not, it's all good too. Does anyone have any initial questions about how this event is gonna go? Crickets. Cry. I'm gonna unmute you if you're interested in sharing your experience. Again, this is more about sharing your personal experience. Let's say I know some of you have probably already consulted with a CPA, or you've attempted to file your taxes. Maybe you've done it in the past. Maybe like you're familiar with like regulations in your country. Also, that's another thing too. Please feel free to share what's currently happening in your government, in your jurisdiction. If you've received a scary email or a scary letter in the mail, please share that, because that information only strengthens us as a whole to know that, hey, these things are out there and this is what we need to expect. What else? Oh yeah, I'm gonna ask a series of questions, right, in order to get the conversation going. And each question, I will, if you want to chime in, I'll unmute you. I may keep some of you unmuted just so you can keep hopping in. And always, you could keep the conversation going by sharing a personal experience. So maybe you've heard something here, or maybe you kind of got some information, but it wasn't totally clear, but yet you have a link to something and you can share it and we can look at it together. It's not really about like the blind leading the blind. It's more about we can fill in certain blanks, and we can do research on our own and really be strong. Like if we're in this space, we have so much activity. We should really be strong at this, So, also, for the record, I'm going to keep saying like, and the entire night. Okay, thanks, bye. All right, so let's kick this shit off. Let me pull up my links here. Magic 808's like, word. All right. Let's get these juices flowing, right? I want to warm people up a little bit, all right? So I kind of know the answer to all this. I mean, to this question right here, and I know every person's answer, but this is more so for everyone else, so we kind of have a better understanding of who's in the room. Which country is everyone from here? Would you mind just finding the emoji flag and posting the emoji flag of where you're from, so we kind of know we could reference it, because it'll come into play. Awesome. Trust me, this matters, right? This matters. In one place, you may have lax restrictions compared to another one. I know my government doesn't know absolutely what the hell it's doing or what it wants to do, which is scary shit, right? So it's, thank you. All right. That's cool. Now, here's the next question. Well, we don't know that, Grev. We don't know that, Alex. All right. Here's the next question, y'all. And I will unmute microphones if people want to unmute, and share this. And I'll share. I'll answer this question too. Okay. When I say the word taxes, what are some of the first things that come to mind for you? Please type it in the event space, or you can ask to be unmuted and you can share it with everyone else. Confusion. Yeah, terror. Yeah, loss of funds. Paperwork. Bullshit. Headache. So emotional trauma. Yeah, loss of funds. So an untrustworthy government. Oh, okay. Emotional trauma again. Yeah, a lack of clarity. Yeah, again, like oversight. You can't really trust oversight. Oh yeah, fear of punishment. Another punishment. Okay. No, nothing to fall back on. I'm not gonna repeat that, Grevinator. I'm not gonna repeat that one. Um, oh yeah, a lack of understanding about the space in general. Yeah, not knowing what's tax evasion or what consists of being tax evasion. I mean, what falls into that area of what is tax evasion and what isn't. And what's Penguin saying? Okay, so the process of filing them out, of filing taxes. Okay, thank you, Alex. Alex gave a definition for taxes. I mean, I didn't want to go that far. I'm not trying to dumb it down that far, but it's more a matter of getting us more in sync on the same page. But I'll read it out anyway. A tax is a compulsory financial charge or some other type of levy imposed on a taxpayer by a governmental organization in order to fund government spending. Right. Right. So I'll say personally that I feel I agree with all you. Every single one of these goes through my head all the time. I've always felt my personal experience when it comes to taxes is kind of in line with debt in general, and a lack of trust with my within the jurisdiction that I live in, the country I live in, a lack of trust of the government. Always feeling as if like I kind of know more. I can do this in a very simple way, but there are hurdles, there are boundaries, right? There's a fear of a pitfall, and when it comes to taxes, I've had a personal experience. I'll give you one unrelated to crypto. There was a time where many of you know that I'm an actor in addition to being totally psychotic, a psychotic crypto personality, right? So I was doing a performance, and I was paid for the performance, and it was a long theater run. And about a year later, I received a weird letter from the IRS stating that I was paid $17,000 from this performance, and that I owed them about $5K plus, right? Mind you, I was in a situation in my life where I did not have $5K. I am not at the tender age of I'm not as old as I am now, because I'm old as fuck, right? So I was young as fuck, right? And my pockets were empty as fuck. So this is very scary. But when I look back, I was like, hey, I wasn't paid $17K because I would have been partying. I would have been like, I would have had a ton of women and food, because I guess that's how irresponsible I am, right? No, but like what I realized was that somebody made a mistake. Someone moved a decimal point, right? So I called the IRS. I'm stressing out. I go down to the local New York IRS office, and I have all these facts and figures, copies of the paycheck. Thank God, like I see copies of my paycheck. I go down to the office and I'm telling them like, hey, listen, I think you made a mistake. I was not paid this. I had this. I got a notarized letter from the people who paid me for the performance that I did, stating that no, we didn't pay him that. We paid this. So where they had to look at their numbers and all this other stuff, and all I got in return was hey. So there was an error here and something where it wasn't an apology. It was like hey, so there was a clerical error here, and thank you for your time. Thank you for my time. Like you were about to take money from me, right? So this fear kind of like, it kind of lingers there, if something like this could happen, if human error can happen this way, oh God, in crypto, it's like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Yeah, I see you, MH. Perfect. Oh, and by the way, please, again, let me know if there was anyone else who wanted to speak too. Just in regards to my little spiel over here. Oh my God, Magic, don't be so graphic. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, hey, MH, you're unmuted. But yeah, just to put a little bow on that. Yeah, man, like what? Like I was like that fear it still lingers,
What's up, show? How's my audio? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're 5x5, my friend.
Sweet. Okay. All I'm hoping right now is that I can kind of add a little bit of value here, because you never know. Okay, so here's the story. So anybody that's in NBA Top Shot right now is probably, or who has been in for a while, I guess I should say, is probably looking at a pretty significant increase in their personal net worth, if we put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's been fairly it's been a good run lately. So one of the things that I was curious about was here in Canada. I guess anybody who's not from Canada probably wouldn't understand sort of tax law differences here. But the one big thing that I've been kind of holding on to, which I still don't know where it's going to land, and it's a big difference from the States, is that lottery and casino winnings here are non-taxable. You win a jackpot in a Canadian casino and you're a Canadian, let's say you win, I don't know, 150 grand on a slot machine. You walk out the door with 150 grand or whatever the equivalent value is, 150 grand, right? So the government does not tax that. I don't know the background. I don't know why exactly it is the way that it is, but that's where we're at. So you take a game like Top Shot, right? Because it's a game. I mean, where it gets a little confusing is maybe there are people coming in where they're treating it 100% like an investment or equivalent ability to raise some quick money fast. So the question that I had for my accountant was, what is this from a taxable perspective? And the way he kind of answered me for Canada was pretty helpful. The starting point is you got to understand the CRA, the Canadian Revenue Agency, they have, like, the law in Canada requires you to self-report income from all sources, period, full stop. You make money wherever it comes from. It doesn't matter. You declare it. And if you over declare the sources, they'll work it out with you. You'll get it back, but you're required to self-report.
Wow. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. No, go ahead. No, because that's actually a pretty key point, and it gets them the ability in court to pretty much do whatever they want. Oh, you made money from there? Oh, yeah, we want a part. You didn't declare it? Okay, now you're screwed. Now you're the criminal.
Oh wait, but the way you phrased it, I thought that you were saying, hey, even if you over declare, right, that they'll readjust it for you.
You can figure it out. Like, if you, yeah, it's true. It's true. Like, if you declare income and you decide that you want to discuss it, you can work that part out. But if you declare it, let's say when you file your taxes every year, if you say I made $150,000, doesn't matter where it came from, because it goes on a line, there's no description, and you pay tax on $150,000 that you happen to have won in my previous example from a casino, you're going to pay that, and nobody's going to question it because they don't know where it came from, and you told them that you gave it to them. If you go then and pursue an amendment down the road because somebody gives you the good advice that says, by the way, you shouldn't have declared that as income, you should have declared it as whatever. But the point being is that you have to self-report all income. So if, let's say hypothetically, very hypothetically, you've got a balance in your Top Shot account or whatever account online that you might have had some gains in. If you start withdrawing that and you can't get it out all at once, you want to use it more like, let's say, kind of, I guess the equivalent example in the States would be like a Roth IRA, or in Canada, you're just kind of drawing down an annuity, right? You're pulling equity out over time. The equity that you're pulling out over time is the income that's taxable. So if you're pulling out less than a certain tax bracket, you're going to pay the lower level of tax. So you kind of have to be aware of where those tiers start and end. Okay, you with me so far? Does this make sense? Hopefully, like I say, hopefully I'm adding some value here.
No, yeah. I'm following. Keep going.
Okay, so it doesn't matter if you have $40 million in Top Shot, $100,000 in Top Shot, $100,000 in some casino in the, like, overseas, that's, or some company that's based in, doesn't matter what it is, what the balance is in that account. It's about what you pull out and convert into spendable dollars in your bank account. Okay, and that's important, because the reason why I'm talking about spendable dollars in your bank account is because that's what the CRA is going to look for. They're going to do kind of like a smell test. If you are not showing income from other sources, but yet somehow your lifestyle of spending requires a higher level of income than you're declaring, again, that self-reported income thing, then they're going to start sniffing around, and you might get questioned or, worst case, audited. Okay, so if you're pulling money out over a long term from one of these games, It's technically the best. So he gave me a couple different scenarios, but really the least risk is just assume that you're going to declare like the amount that you're pulling out, and you're not going to pull out millions, because that changes tax brackets. But if you're pulling it, let's just use as a round figure, say $100,000 a year, you're going to pull out. Assume you're going to pay about 25% tax on that because of the tax brackets. It's just simple self-reported income, none of the complicated capital gain stuff. You're just simply saying, I'm declaring that I've got income from other sources, unspecific or non-specific, and it totals up to about $100,000, and they're going to tax you at that tax bracket. You pay 25 grand, and these are ballpark numbers, but it's about 25%, and nobody is ever going to give you a second look. Okay, so I know there's probably other people that are curious about how do I pay zero tax. From my perspective, my situation in life, my age, all these things, for me, I just kind of want to keep the CRA away from my business, right? So if that costs me 25% of whatever I'm pulling out of these games, in my mind, worth it. Okay, with that, I'll shut up. Hopefully that helped. I can answer some questions if I missed anything or that any part of it was confusing.
No, well, first and foremost, thank you. By the way, you don't have to shut up. Like that. That's why I open up the microphone. So I definitely appreciate the insight. That's mostly what I want to convey to everyone else. Like, hey, share your experiences, right? Obviously, NFA, right? DYOR. Yeah, you want to pull from different perspectives and experiences in order to strengthen your overall knowledge base, and then you can filter what's not working, what does, right? MH gave us an awesome experience, right? From his perspective. I mean, in Canada, there's a lot of little things I was picking up. I was like, okay, so now I'm comparing that to what I know just in general, what I've personally experienced. Sandy made a good point. Once the money in America goes from, like, once you exit your position and it hits a centralized bank, then the capital gains. We're gonna talk about capital gains later on. That's a taxable thing, right? I would say taxable event, but then I want to make sure I clarify later on. Sparrow and Penguin both made a good point too. In the UK, it's different. Every time you exchange a token, it's a taxable event. Same thing in America too, which is what I'm gonna highlight. I'm gonna share some things. Alex, you have to get rid of the white thing on the end. You have to make your GIFs perfect. You have to make your memes perfect. All right, so that was awesome. All right, so again, just so everybody's aware, the reason why I brought up when I asked you about the word taxes, what are some things that come to mind? Is because I really want your juices flowing, and I really want you to really resonate with what we're talking about here. Here's the next question, right?
Hey, hang on, show. I'm kind of scanning through the chat, and I'm seeing some back and forth about where is it there? How are they going to know about your wallet, right? So
wait.
Oh, you want to? Okay, go ahead.
Yes,
go ahead.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We're gonna get to that. All right, we're gonna get to that. Here's the next question: why is everyone afraid of taxes? You can write it down in the event space. You can ask to be unmuted. Why is everyone afraid of taxes?
Show, it's actually a really good question, man. Because that's really kind of, and I don't know if you picked that up from my explanation, is, if it costs me 25% in order to keep everything in my life the way it is today and stable, it's worth it, right? You don't want this. You don't want the IRS or the CRA or whoever you're. I don't know if I didn't really check through all the flags, but yeah, like I mean, taxes are they suck, but you don't want to be on the wrong side of the guys with the authority to enforce tax law. You really don't.
So yeah, I guess that falls in line with what Choin is saying. Fear of consequences, right? Penguin, they want to keep the money. Magic 808, not being educated enough, not to be screwed over. So again, there's this fear of punishment, extortion. Hey, Joe, I wouldn't say it's extortion, but yeah, no, but I feel you. The sentiment, though, right? Feeling like people get robbed.
How about this question?
Go ahead.
Can I ask the question a little differently then? Why is everybody not furious at their full-time employer because they're not getting their entire gross salary?
Wait. We can't go there. We're gonna keep this on crypto. We're gonna keep this on crypto for a reason, right? Just so everybody's aware.
It was more of a more of a like
Rhetorical?
why are we trying? Yeah.
Well,
okay, carry on.
the TLDR of that, just so everybody's aware, the reason why I wanted to jump ahead of that, and I apologize for cutting you off, MH, but it was only because when it comes to an employer, they're paying off half of the total tax that you will be liable for. So if you're self-employed, you would be paying the full, which is what people say is the double tax, because people are so used to working for someone else and having them pay that half tax. They only think of that one half of their paycheck. Well, not half of their paycheck, but that aspect of their paycheck, the half of it. Half of the tax is being paid. So at least that's in America, though. Your jurisdiction is different. But in terms of crypto, though, right? We're gonna talk about when you receive crypto as a payment for something, and that's the reason why I want to hold off and make sure that no one is confused. You know, we got to keep it crypto related because we're in this space and this is brand new territory. You know. Okay, Dragonate. Oh my, OMG with the caps. All right. yeah. So yeah, back to that question. The reason why I wanted to know this is because if I wasn't fearful of some kind of punishment, being going to jail, right, just because I didn't give you enough of the money that I made on my own, then I don't think I'd be so stressful about filling out a bunch of paperwork. I don't think I'd be so stressful about giving away if I knew. Also, it's fear of punishment than not knowing where the money's going. Those two things, right? And then seeing how the money can be spent, you know, wantonly, you know, it's kind of like, it makes me feel uncomfortable, for lack of a better word. If those, like if I knew, okay, hey, this money is going towards strengthening the community, strengthening our entire country, and knowing that it's literally doing that instead of going to someone's wallet or something randomly, right? Then I would feel a little more, right, exactly, right, yes. For everyone watching, yeah, I'm just giving all these affirmatives, but yeah, I'm just looking at what everyone's saying. Yeah, Katie Laurie, perfect example. If it was going towards giving me health care, right? But the fact is, we don't know.
Well, it's interesting, and I'm not going to talk for Dragon 8, but I did pick up on the fact that he's a fellow Canadian with me, and you know, kind of as a counterpoint, maybe it's a hot take, right? Show.
That's cute.
Obviously, Dragon 8 disagrees, and he's with me in the same country with, you know, healthcare as a priority, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean getting healthcare is going to make everybody want to pay 100% of the taxes that they would potentially be obligated to pay.
Yeah, the key word there, obligation, right? We don't know what that obligation entails. Same thing with a favor. You don't know if you do a favor for someone, you don't know what the ramifications of the favor are. Same thing. But now it's no longer a favor to the government. You're not loaning them some money to help the government. It's more like now you're obligated to give them some shit. And now, then sometimes they ask for a lot, they ask for a little, and you don't know if it's the right number. It's like, 12. They're like, no, it's 11.5. Shit, I'm going to jail. I'm going to fucking jail. And mates, get me out of jail. I need you to bail me out. You love me, motherfucker. I know you do.
Oh, you know I do. You know you do. You're my favorite. You know, so you know you're being a little memey right now, right? Like nobody's going to jail if they pay 50 cents less tax than they're supposed to pay.
Good point.
Right?
Good point.
Like
well,
the only reason anybody from any tax agency is going to look in your business if there's something screwy going on.
Right.
If you are living your life, you live in your best life out there in the world, paying for rent, paying for mortgage, paying for utilities, paying for food, and there's nobody putting money in your account other than this weird, you know, $5,000 every 2-week deposit from, you know, some random crypto exchange. That's where you get a visit or a knock or a letter in the mail that makes you have to kind of provide a little bit more info. They're sniffing around. And it's because your tax return flagged something in the master database that governs the world, right? And there you go. And now next thing you know, you're on a list.
Well,
if you pay a reasonable amount of taxes, if you declare a reasonable amount of expense if you're a business and you generate a reasonable amount of income and everything sort of passes within the guardrails, nobody's gonna bug you. Oh, Dragon. Oh, sorry, not at me. That's at somebody else. Okay, sorry.
1 second. Hold on. Wait, Sandy, give me a moment. I was about to transition into something, but I'll look them in. They should actually already be members. Sandy, Eltor is already a member, so all he has to do is click.
It's getting political. It's getting hardcore political.
No, it's going to. I mean, we're talking about jurisdiction. We're talking about a very uncomfortable subject right now, and to your point, what I was going to say is this is a brand new space, so the fear comes from people not knowing what the right answer or wrong answer is, and human error can, especially with crypto, right? The guidelines, the legislation is not clear, so you can trip and fall, right? Even if you're trying to do the right thing, it's not that you're doing something screwy, it's that you don't know what the screwy thing is, so you don't do the screwy shit, you know? So that being said, I'm gonna transition to another question. And again, y'all, if you like to speak on the microphone, I will unmute you.
Come on, guys. Somebody else hop on chat. There's nothing to be afraid of. I'm terrified and I'm still here.
All right. After I answer this question, I'm gonna let Eltor and I think Kryptonic too. I'm gonna figure out their issue with Sandy. But hey, okay. So here's the question. Here's the next question. By show of emoji, is this the first time you've ever had to consider filing crypto taxes? So is this your first time ever having to file crypto taxes? And show an emoji. It could be any affirmative or negative emoji. And give me 1 second.
Does the word no work as well? Because that's what I went with.
All right. So okay, looking back at the emojis before I reference that. Hey Eltor, what's up? Welcome. You already had access, man. You already had access. In case you probably forgot, you're a full-fledged member, dude. Hey, Kryptonic, where's Kryptonic at? 1 second, Rune. I'm trying to juggle a couple of things right here, and then I will reference what's going on. No problem, GB. No problem. Let me see. Okay, all right. So looking back, all right. I'll unmute Geffen. It's first time for Grevinator, first time for Rune. Rune, I'm unmuting you too.
Sup, Rune, man? It's been a long time. How are you?
Hey, buddy.
Katie, Nate, Indy, Paul. Who else? Joe. I don't know if that's a yay or a nay, but and then yeah, I'm getting a maybe. What does a maybe mean, Penguin? Does that mean like you would know if you did it, right? You would know.
Maybe paid taxes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Joe said it's his first time. Yeah. So I mean, for me too, it's my first time. Oh, hey Sparrow, do me a favor. If you have a link for that, please, by all means, you're more than welcome to share that. Again, like I said, this is more a matter of like a research strategy session / info / NFA session. You know, it's not the blind leading the blind, but more a matter of us just sharing experiences. So we're armed with more knowledge and we're able to make better decisions Instead of MH cutting me off. No, I'm kidding. MH, go ahead. What you have to say?
I was going to say it's not like the blind leading the blind. It's the blind parting with the blind.
That's
Yeah,
it.
So
Sorry, go
so-
ahead. Go ahead, Rune.
yeah. This has been bugging me because I was jumping on my taxes early, and because I just got into the crypto game. Of course, this is the first year that it's asked, have you sold, swapped, bought any digital assets? One of the things that I still can't figure out is what the hell they want me to put and where. So I did post a link to a podcast that.
Wait, Rune. I'm sorry. There's some interference on your
muffled.
microphone. So
There is?
yeah, we're getting a
you hear me
little. It's like your voice is coming in and out.
Okay, hold on a second. Is that better?
Yeah. So if there's something covering it, then that's probably
Yeah,
the issue.
no, I don't. I just moved it. So,
Oh, okay.
so there was this bad crypto podcast that just came on, and they
Yeah.
had a tax guy, and that blew my mind. That dude was behind crypto 100%, and I mean, he made a good point. It says digital asset. Everyone should be putting yes on that, because if you have a grocery store card that gives you points, if you go to Dunkin' Donuts and have a Dunkin' Donuts card that gives you points, it's a digital asset. If you play World of Warcraft and have gold, that's a digital asset. So it's not so much that people are afraid that they're gonna flag you if you just say yes to that immediately. But in reality, I think the flag is already in place if you check it, and your reporting is like super high. I mean, if you're looking at someone like me, who's just been swapping around, haven't really put anything in my own bank account, taken any profits or anything. I mean, I've been going back and forth trying to figure out if I should even say anything, because I haven't profited off any of this stuff yet,
Mhm.
But listening to that helped me out a little bit to put my fears at ease. And I also like the website of Crypto Tax Audit that he had talked about.
Post a
I mean,
link.
it's
Post
professional
a
service.
link if you got it, or someone else. If you
Yeah.
can. Sorry.
Yeah, no. It's right. It's actually, I'm going to do it right now. Here it is, right here. So the guy who was on the tax man was on that podcast. He runs this, and he basically was touting, he's basically the only one around that knows, the everything about crypto when it comes to the taxes. Because you go to like H&R Block or anything else, they're not gonna cover you when an audit comes, and if it comes up, with crypto, they have no idea.
Right.
So, yeah. Anyway, that helped out a lot and made me feel a little bit better. I still am trying to figure out how the hell to report anything, but yeah, I'm not too worried about it now.
Yeah, so Geffen here, that first question they ask you is just the flag to ask more questions later.
Exactly.
Don't worry about saying yes there, but do not say yes just because you own a video game. Say yes if you have sold a digital asset or have any way made any income. And you may want to say yes if you own coins but have never sold them, just so you have it in their system. But this is just paperwork. Don't be intimidated by this, guys. Just write what you know to be correct, and if the numbers seem really wrong, talk to a CPA.
Yep.
But the other thing I wanted to say is I didn't pay taxes for 5 years because I was a dumbass kid doing whatever the fuck I wanted, and excuse me, and when I got back on top of it and started paying taxes again, I did have a CPA for a couple of years, and I started doing my taxes by myself again, and it's you're not going to get arrested. No one's coming after you real quick unless you're trying to do tax evasion and you continue to do tax evasion after they ding you and say, hey, what are you doing?
Yep.
So if you're just do something wrong, they'll work with you. I'm speaking for the U.S. here.
Yeah. I was gonna ask because it's different. Yeah. So sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so they'll work with you. But I mean, pretty much any transfer of a coin, any swap is a taxable event. Doesn't matter if it's a centralized exchange or a decentralized exchange. But it's a taxable event because they're trying to track that cost basis. So even if you swap into DeFi and you leave it there, when it comes back out, that's an interesting kind of loophole right now, because that the original coins you put into DeFi that you're staking, let's say with, they come back out and there's no income on those, but you have a cost basis. So those are the same until you do another swap or a sale.
It's been tough to think about. Like, since I started in August, I wasn't keeping track of anything, and to have to keep track of any NFTs that you sell or any coins that you swap. I mean, if you think about it, going back to, like I said, just August, I've done tons of swaps back and forth. I mean, it's something to think about for the future, that you may not have been thinking about this, but we should probably be tracking things now, just to kind of like work with the system.
Good point. I'm gonna share a bunch of links. In addition to the links, shout out to everybody sharing all the links. By the way, any kind of research that you've done. Remember, I don't expect you to do as much research as I have, in this, but this is helpful for you to make better choices on your own. So yeah, if that's a URL, Geffins, then I'm pretty sure people could. And speaking of Coin Tracker, I'm trying to get Sheehan to come in real quick. Let me if he's available.
So I'll speak to Coin Tracker while you're doing that. So Coin Tracker, it's like Mint if you've ever used it from Intuit, but you basically give it the public keys, obviously don't give them your private keys, to all your wallets, and it'll go do all the cost basis, and it'll rip up exactly what you're going to owe in taxes or in all the forms that you'll send in with your taxes or give to your CPA. And the other thing about it is it's kind of beautiful, so you just end up doing your Scrooge McDuckin while staring at it. NFT stuff, my big question that I'll land in front of you guys right now is, if you own digital land and Decentraland, what the hell is that registered under? Because you're not making any income on that. So I think if you don't sell it, there's no problem. And when you do sell it, it's just whatever that mana or coin is.
Yeah, in terms of thank you for that insight, by the way. In terms of crypto, Coin Tracker, we can speak to the man himself about it. if he's available, he'll hop in. He'll probably be here soon, just depending. Yeah, that's awesome. I think I actually have a question about this later on in the convo. But to keep things flowing and going. Oh wait, Kryptonic, do you want to be unmuted to share some of that insight? Actually, anyone else who wants to. Again, all you have to do is let me know. Maybe if you did sell me and I didn't see, I apologize. But if you'd like to be unmuted and share any little quip, any little insight. Thank you, Katie Laurie, for posting that, by the way, because I've been using Oh yeah, this is a big deal in terms of tools, and we'll go back to this later. But I don't just use TurboTax, right? We all found out that TurboTax and those other things, they were overcharging us for no reason. And Katie Laurie just gave us the IRS free file. It's like, oh, the IRS realized that people were making money off of the average citizen or whatever. That's crazy. That's so crazy. You can be triple unmuted, MH. I don't know if that's like a double. That's a triple negative or whatever. Yeah, Indy, same. It scares a lot of people. Okay, Katie, I'll unmute you, all right? You're unmuted.
So I was just going to say that I think I used TurboTax or H&R Block or something for some time before figuring out that the free file program, you don't even have to pay for the state one if you're below a certain income, and you can pick from like 5 or 6 different ones. So if you have hatred for TurboTax, you don't have to use them. You can use somebody else. But they will do everything in their power to get you to pay more. Like try to upservice you or that kind of thing in the different ones. So just keep that in mind, that if you somehow get like routed to something else, go back and answer no. The second thing I was going to say is I didn't realize
Sorry to cut you off. Wait, there are a couple of things to unpack there. So you're saying that with the IRS free file, they try to upsell you, or you mean like TurboTax?
So actually, what the IRS free file is contracting with multiple different companies like TurboTax and other ones. So you can just do the one that you get e-file on their website, but if you like to be guided through and have the questions and all of that, the link I gave shows you a bunch of different companies. And any of those, if you go through this link, it will be free if you meet the criteria. But TurboTax will try to upsell you. I don't know about all of them, but some of them. So don't get upsold.
Yeah, I mean, that's been my personal experience, you know. And again, we're going to talk about tools that people use later on.
And you can't like go through the TurboTax website. You have to go through these kind of links. But the one other thing I wanted to say, I didn't know this, and I don't really have enough crypto for this to be happening. But if somebody, you know, bought ETH when it was pretty low and is looking to cash some out, but is worried about capital gains, there are more charities accepting crypto rather in donations. So if you were going to make some donations to charities and you do it in crypto, that's one way of, you know, then you can go back and buy ETH at the current price, and rather than giving your charitable donation in cash, save on some taxes.
That's awesome. Thank you for the insight. Yeah. So yeah. Again, if any of this helps you, please feel free to bookmark any of these links. I'm going to continue posting more and more links. Hey, by the way, yeah. That's from Katie's speakers, because Katie doesn't wear headphones, Sandy. So yell at Katie, don't yell at me. All right. No. Hey. By the way, Shihan from Coin Tracker is here. Instead of me talking about it or having anyone else talk about it, we could talk about that later on if he feels open to talking about that awesome service. I have a couple questions about that too, but we'll get to that in a second. I have another question from everyone. For everyone. Speaking of capital gains, right? And capital gains tax. Thank you, Katie, for bringing that up and providing some information to do more research on. Has anyone ever dealt with capital gains tax outside and or unrelated to the crypto space? So if you've been exposed to anything related, I guess, to stocks unrelated to crypto, and then things unrelated to crypto.
I mean, the short-term, long-term paradigm. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I mean, but in relation to what though? Not in relation to crypto. I mean, outside of crypto, have you experienced that before?
Well, it's really any asset. So if you buy something and you flip it, and by flipping it, it's like less than a year, you're gonna pay the maximum of your tax bracket. But if you wait a year, basically a year and a day, you'll pay 15%, which is pretty low on the tax bracket side.
In terms of percentages and things like that, if you have a link to show current like instead of us just throwing out numbers, right? I mean, I'm not saying you, but I mean
the US one right now.
Yeah. Instead of like, I don't mean you in general. I love what you're saying. I'm just saying like, hey, you know, instead of us just throwing out numbers, right? So people get confused or like they, you know, this is better if we. I'm gonna share something later on too, but yeah. So me personally, I haven't owned like, because I always think of assets and like things like that as like massive estates in Calabasas, or like an entire island full of rare tigers and shit. Like that's yachts. Yeah, Grev. Like I think of fucking property, like these champagne wishes and caviar dreams, you know? That's what I think of assets. I don't think of like what you were talking about, right, Sandy? Right? Land, you know? Too much. Katie, we gotta finish it together. We gotta finish watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians together. But hey, Kryptonic, thank you for sharing that. We should definitely check out Nomad Capitalist in the future. But thank you, Geffen. Oh, so that's for the US. Yeah, y'all, if you have let me see. If you have anything like this, right? That's accurate, up to date for your region, your country, your jurisdiction, by all means, share it. Especially if you've seen a flag that was similar to yours, you know, this is helpful. And remember, DYOR, y'all, please, DYOR when it comes to this too. That's only short term in terms of capital gains, Joe. Thank you. I think I have a.
Yeah, sorry, I'm looking for that one. It was a different site.
Solid.
Yeah, I'll rename that too, so it's correct.
But again, the reason why I asked that question is because Geffen's kind of alluded to it, where it's like, hey, like if you've experienced this before, then you kind of have a handle on how to deal with capital gains tax, you know. Oh, boom. Oh, perfect. Xian just said, what's my tax rate? What's my tax rate for crypto profits? Short answer, depends on which coins you're selling and your tax filing status. Really important. Yeah, and like, oh, by the way, like, yeah. Oh wait, let me just see something right here. So that right there, right? Like as simple as that was right there, right? It also tells you two things, right? That you have to do a ton of research on the coins that you're bringing in. So there's that, and then you have to figure out what your tax filing style. Try saying that 3 times fast. Tax filing status, right? you have to figure that out, which is like, oh my god, you know. I'm just trying to keep up with. It's like it's a slew of links. I love it. Slew of links. And remember DYOR, everyone. DYOR. This is just to strengthen you. Oh, Sandy, you could type it. You can't speak it. All right. But seriously though, like I haven't been exposed to that. So me being in a space, especially since things are so gray, so undefined in the US in terms of crypto, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. You know, even if I feel like I know, I could be wrong and strong all day. You guys know this. I'll yell and scream and it'll be totally like incorrect, you know? But hey, does anyone want to be unmuted and chime in on that?
Hey, Show, I think the thing that I mean, I hope I'm explaining this properly, but everybody gets really confused when you start talking about capital gains because it's, you know, it's just as one of those words like, I don't know, any other derivative kind of thing that people just don't, you know, they throw it around, but nobody really knows what it means. Capital gains is really just a subsection of the tax law that says a certain percentage of the gains that you make on your investments is taxable. And it's taxable as income. Remember how I was saying that, you know, you declare your income from all sources in Canada? It's just, it's capital gains income because you're taking a certain percentage of whatever you're saying that you earned. And really, you got to, I guess it really comes down to this. I think what everybody's really afraid of is what does the government know about that they're not going to tell them about?
Fear. It goes right back to fear, right?
But that's fear that's caused by a choice, right?
A choice by who?
By you. You're afraid because you're not entirely reporting. I know you're smiling. I get this, and I know and it's cool. But that's a good question. It's fear because you're hiding something from the people that will punish you if you are hiding it.
Well, it's not that it's not intentional hiding. It's that things are unclear in the crypto space, so you don't know what to show. That's what I'm getting to here. So it's not intentional. You're not intentionally. Go ahead.
Yeah, you are. No, you're entirely intentionally doing it because, and again, everybody in the chat's probably going to think now I'm on the other side now, which I'm absolutely not.
You're on the other side right now. You're on the other side.
Yeah. No, but think about it this way. You know you made money. You have realized in your mind, in your actions, in your purchases, you've made more money. The question is, what does the government know that you made? Right? Because if you just simply told them, and you know what? Everybody's thinking that it has to get down to the penny. If you told them, hey, I think I made about $45,000 because I had a really good year, great. They're not going to worry. You know what? Because the next year, and this is where I think where people get a little squirrely too, is that what happens if you lose $45,000 the next year? And you know what? That's where the laws haven't caught up because I think there's a little bit of a inconsistency. And this is where I kind of get a little sketchy. I don't know. Because I'm just such a good investor, I don't have to worry about capital losses. I've never made a bad. I've never made a bad choice in my entire. Oh yeah, no,
the
brilliant.
ego one is no I'm kidding.
No, some might say genius, but I don't accept the praise that well. So, but yeah, no,
It's seriously wonderful to listen to.
Wait, hold on.
What?
Hold on.
Go ahead. No, go.
Hold on, MH. Wait. So I just want to highlight something because this is one of the links I was going to share later on. So again, Shihan just shared a link to something that I read actually from the Coin Tracker blog, how the IRS knows you owe crypto and Bitcoin taxes. So that's in relation to what MH is saying. I was coming from an alternate perspective of like someone who's totally ignorant as opposed to someone who is well aware of the money that they have, which is what MH is coming from, is saying like, hey, you're trying to hide this, right? So that's perfect. Again, thank you for providing that. Grevinator, you wanted to be unmuted, correct? I believe you're unmuted now, sir. Grevinator. Yeah.
I forget where I was. If I was still talking, I forget where I was.
No, it's fine. You made your points. Cool.
My question is, how is this? And this is where this kind of loses me, because in essence, playing in the crypto space, I'll just call it playing around, is no different than stocks in its essence, right? It's new, it's fun, but in its essence, it's no different than doing stocks or investing in a 403b or whatever. And in all of those situations, you only pay money on what you take out. Everything is hypothetical until it becomes actual cash, right? So why is this any different? And that's the thing I don't understand. And I know a big part of that is that the governments that are making these laws also don't understand how this works. But how can I be taxed on something that is all hypothetical gains? Because when you think about it in its essence, you might think you made $500,000 on Top Shots, but it could be gone tomorrow.
You know what, Grevinator, that's you actually made the perfect point there entirely, which is there's a lot of assumptions that people are making that says, if the money's still in my exchange and I'm trading in and out, or I'm playing this game, I have to declare it as income. My opinion, again, NFA, DYOR, they don't know about that. It doesn't exist. Don't worry about what you've made on paper in the system. But my accountant explained to me is exactly, I think, what you're getting at, which is really I need to pay pay taxes on income. And that income is what's actually hitting my bank account. Everything's electronic right now, right? So anything that electronically hits your account, that's what's going to hit. If I'm a Canadian, now this is where I'm going to kind of contradict things. There are ways around it potentially, right? If I'm a Canadian, I open up a U.S. bank account in a branch that's right over in Buffalo. I can have money sent there. When I can cross the border again safely, I can then go to the bank, withdraw cash, strap it to my body.
For someone talking about hiding taxes. Now you're the one trying to give us tips on how to fucking hide, like cross the border, strap shit to your body. MH, what are you doing?
Right, hold on.
Hang on.
I gotta break in.
Sure, doesn't that
go ahead.
Give me more credibility though?
Who is that?
Doesn't that give me more credibility though?
This is Gavin, man. I gotta backtrack to whoever was speaking twice ago. It's not that you owe taxes on everything that's happening. It's that it's a taxable event, which means they want you to track it and know the baseline. So if you bought Ripple because you're a fool, and then it went way down, and you got rid of that Ripple, you actually it's a taxable event in your favor. You now have a deduction because you lost money. You have a loss. And so if I buy a coin and I sell it tomorrow for $1, and I bought it today for $2, I have a $1 loss, and that is in your favor. So it evens out. So you're only going to pay the difference in that income or in that loss of money. So if you've lost a lot of money in crypto, you want to be paying attention to this too. It's on your side. Now, remember, that's deductions from what you owe in taxes. So you're never going to get money out of nowhere, but that's a really key point.
But I just want to clarify once again. So are you saying that I still have to report the hypothetical gains to my account, even though I have not removed that money? It is not in my hand. And from my perspective, until it is in my hand, it is not really a gain, right? Or am I wrong there?
You are wrong, because if you did change it into USD at any point, you've already got that income, even though you left it on an exchange. And in that way, you're wrong. However, if you don't get a net win, if you don't make money, you're probably not going to owe money, but they want to see the bookkeeping. And it's the IRS. They're gonna look at those books, and they love looking at those books. If it's a big enough number and you get audited, they're gonna go, this doesn't make sense. This money appeared out of nowhere, and blah blah blah.
So clarify what you said, because you said if I turn it into USD at some point, but I turned it from USD into digital hypothetical currency that doesn't actually have any value in and of itself other than the value that we, assign to it. And until I remove that, it is no longer USD. It's no different in my mind. Like I said, in my mind is obviously wrong, but if I had bought because I'm a gamer, right? So I use gaming analogies. But so if I bought a $60 video game, I'm changing USD into that video game that was pre-crypto, so it has no gains whatsoever, right? And so
cost basis, so it costs $60. Let's remember that. Continue.
So then, assuming that I never sell that game back, right? It's just, gone. It's just gone, or it's there, or I suppose it has hypothetical value still until I decide to do something with it. So is that? Well, yeah. I don't know. I don't know that I need to clarify further. I
think you nail it. It's got hypothetical value, and until you do something with it, it doesn't matter too much, unless, I don't know, somehow you get audited and you still owe money, and then they want to liquidate what you have.
So explain to me how Top Shots is different, right? Honestly, like that's the part that is kind of losing me there. Because in essence, it's a game that I'm playing in a digital space, no different than any other MMO or whatever I played.
Agree. It's a collector's pack. It's like Magic the Gathering. It's not a game in any way. I mean, it's fixated around a game, but it's not a game. It's cards that you are collecting that happen to have a ridiculous amount of value because NBA players themselves are buying them for millions of dollars.
I think you're being a little too black and white in the way you're describing that, because I know what you're saying. I know why you're saying it that way. I think you're being almost a little dramatic with the obligations of you as of them as players of these games. It is a game. Nobody got into any of these things with the expectation that they were going to make $1 million or that they were going to replace their current source of primary income, right? So regardless of what happened to them, it would be very difficult in court for anyone to prove that making money buying and selling cards as a hobby / pastime is in fact something that obligates you to declare realized earnings in the system prior to having it deposited into your bank account at any point. That's my opinion, but it's very
yeah.
But yeah, but the thing is DAPR in your account is the same as having the money in any form of token in your crypto exchange wallet, right? All the talk about taxable events and shit like that. That's, in my mind, I think that's probably unnecessary hype. The reality is think about it. In my mind, what hits your bank account, and this is where I guess you're right when the cost base comes in, is you have to know where that money that you're pulling out technically was generated from. Did you get some gains in something and losses in another? Track that in case you ever do get audited, but you don't have to submit that every year when you file your taxes. That's supporting information in the event that you get somebody digging into your shit more than the average Joe.
Okay, yeah. Wait. I need to interject, y'all. Awesome convo. Awesome. Damn it, we had Shihan here. I didn't realize he had like such a time constraint. Otherwise, I would have moved up his portion so we could ask him a slew of questions. But it's all good. I have a video in regards. It's from a recent podcast on Unchained by Laura Shin with him, and he talks in depth about all of this. That's part of the reason why I'm not addressing some of the things brought up. It's more so me getting us to have a powwow, a convo, right? And really get all this information flowing, and so far it's awesome. Yeah, Choina, I agree, right? I'll play that later on in the mix, and it answers a ton of questions in regards to capital gains tax and also what is considered a taxable event as opposed to what isn't. In the meantime, Shihan from CoinTracker dropped another awesome link. Basically, it was strategies in regards to saving on crypto taxes and some of the other things. Also have a few more from him, and there's like a total guide in addition to, I believe someone else shared a similar one. Maybe it was Penguin too, but Luxumbra, shout out to everybody from Metagame, by the way. Shout out to everybody else from other communities too who wanted to listen in. I appreciate you all seriously. And remember, I said it's not about pulling members from other locations. It's more a matter of just making sure that we strengthen everybody together, because we're all connected in this shit. This affects every single one of us. This is beyond the borders of a Discord server. All right, next question. Oh, wait, and before I do, if anyone, again, wants to hop on a microphone, by all means, just let me know. If I missed you asking, I apologize. I'm literally juggling a bunch of different things. I'm juggling and I'm juggling, right? Here's the next question. Okay, everyone's tax laws are different. We kind of talked about that. We showed our emoji flags, right? In terms of crypto acceptance, right? What is the current climate in your country, right? For example, Nigeria, there's a ban on Bitcoin. In India, there's a ban on Bitcoin. And just last night, right, we just got news that surfaced today in America that Janet Yellen, she doesn't understand Bitcoin at all. She doesn't see the value, and immediately the prices dipped literally from that. So in your country, jurisdiction, your region of the world, right, what's the current climate? You can write it in the event space channel. You can ask to be unmuted, and I will unmute you. I'm just reading the channel right now for those of you watching.
So,
okay, Arcus, sorry. Go ahead.
Achatinga, I want to just answer it easier than typing. So if I had bought a stock and it has gone up in my account and I have not sold it and it's gone up 1,000%, that's correct. At any point in time, if I have not converted it into a spendable currency in my bank account or in some account at a brokerage, then it's not taxable, in my opinion.
All right, we'll circle back to solutions. All right, Arcus just said that it's pretty good in the Philippines, and I'm trying to follow. Who else? All right, Magic 808 just said that there's still a big learning curve, and there's fluctuations based on media attention. I agree. So it's still kind of up in the air in the U.S. And Canada, how does Canada, in terms of region, crypto acceptance on a scale of 1 to 10? Throw a number out there.
What's your question, show, for Canada?
The original question, which is crypto acceptance, scale of 1 to 10.
I assume my government's acceptance of anything is that they don't understand is -5.
Okay.
Crypto is included in that, and that's why the laws are vague. I just said to somebody online on here that it would be extremely difficult for any agency to enforce anything in court. So you're always going to have an ability, in Canada at least, to work something out that is likely going to be better than what they think you're going to owe if they throw 100% of the law at you. But in terms of your question of what's Canada's acceptance of crypto, I think it's improving. I'd call it probably a 4 or a 5.
Okay, that's right in line with what Nate said. That's awesome. And Arcus do a 7 just for shits and giggles. But yeah, it's, I mean, okay, wait, I'm trying to read what Sparrow just said. Sparrow, in your region, what, on scale of 1 to 10? Okay, you said on the public ledger. Wait. Oh no, that's unrelated. Y'all, again, in related to the question, in your region, on a scale of 1 to 10, crypto acceptance.
Cheryl, can I say something about U.S.?
Sure.
So, under the previous administration, I think we would have been in a much worse situation moving forward. But one of the Biden appointees, and I'm not remembering his name offhand, but it is apparently very knowledgeable about the crypto space. And I don't know how valid that is or not, but hopefully, at least at the very minimum, has a basic understanding, which is better, which leaves us, in my opinion, in a better situation than somebody who wouldn't know anything and would just make knee-jerk reactions. And I'll try to find his name real quick.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Again, y'all, anything that strengthens your personal research and allows you to get rid of the fear, right? And really just take the shit into your own hands so you don't have to be fearful of this is greatly appreciated. What else? All right. So next question. Okay. And if you feel like you want to be unmuted after this question, by all means, please let me know. Right? Any new voice that wants to be heard. What is
It's Gary Gensler, by the way. Sorry.
What is the one question that you would say that you need answered in order to make you feel comfortable about crypto taxes? So again, what is the one question that you would say that you need answered in order to make you feel comfortable about crypto taxes? Yeah,
I guess I'm not afraid about reporting taxes. I'm confused about what I need to report and what I don't. I guess that's the answer that I want.
MH, I wasn't insinuating anything. Come on. Thank you, Grev. Okay, I'm trying to read these. Magic 808 said, fingers crossed, but when government involved can swing the scales extremely. So we hope that we as a community can be involved in early legislation. I mean, we want someone crypto savvy. We have the SEC commissioner's crypto savvy, but and she's called Crypto Mom, right? But above her though is Janet Yellen, who runs the Treasury, and that's like the stopgap, you know. Crypto Joe says, I want a better understanding of how staking rewards are accounted for in his income. Like what do they take the price data from, especially for things that accumulate for every block or every few hours? Yeah. So like, how's that accrual, or how those fluctuations shake out in the long run? You self-report. Okay. Oh, that's in regards to Dragonate. Yeah, Grev, go ahead.
Well, another question I have that I would feel more comfortable about is, is there? I got to think about how I want to phrase this, but so for instance, if I'm going to be taxed heavily on taking gains from my investments, because I'm going to call these investments, right? Mm-hmm. Would it be better to just sit on them until there's a better administration or until there's more clarity? Since everything is so new and fresh.
Yeah, remember, none of us are giving financial advice, but right. If you can sit on them, sit for the year, so you pay less taxes, period.
Yeah, okay, again, I have to keep saying this, y'all. All right, this is NFA, thank you, Geffins. NFA DYOR, all right? None of us are, this is a disclaimer in case no one caught it, right? Okay, none of us are financial advisors. Even if there was one here, briefly, still, we're not financial advisors. We're not giving financial advice. This is a community of people who are associated with one another, discussing a topic, right? Sharing experiences and perspectives, all right? This is not clear. Thank you, Arcus. I'm gonna take clear instructions just to make it clear that this isn't clear instructions on how you should go about doing things, because this is just giving you more tools in order for you to do research on this particular subject. All right. Right.
Hey, Geffins, can you clarify what you just said? Sorry. So my question is then, so for instance, if I just move things into USDC and leave it there for the year, is that a better option?
Yes, absolutely. So if you have a ledger, like you can move from wallet to wallet. That's not a taxable event, but it's only when it changes to a different coin or into fiat. But if you can move it into ledger or any cold storage, whatever you like, for a year before you sell it, you'll get taxed less in the U.S. You'll be in that.
Can you explain why that is?
It's simply because when people are flipping things and making a quick buck, the government wants more of it. Now, why they have that right, it's a different discussion. But the short-term capital gains, when you're making money on things, they want more money because you didn't really put an investment in, that you got lucky, I think is from their angle. Actually, I don't have no idea exactly why the law is, but that's what the law is. So if I bought Bitcoin and sold it in the last couple of days, and I sold it when it's up, and I'm buying it today, and I'm just going to sell it again when it's up, that's going to be a short term. But if I bought the Bitcoin and I put it away for a year and then I bring it out to sell it, I'll have to pay less tax on what I make, not the full amount, because you still have whatever it costs you to buy. And I'm looking in CoinTracker to find something that's a good example of this to help that I'll paste in.
Wait, yeah, I'm actually I'm gonna play a video that touches on all these things, but I just want to make sure that we get all these questions out there and everyone's really voicing their things. Thank you again, you two, for sharing that. Wait, a couple of questions. I'm gonna circle back real quick. Magic says that, so does current status for claiming crypto, would that be similar to gains and interest like a Roth or other market investment? Good question, and you would like to know the answer to that, obviously. Jordan says, if a friend used their second nationality to buy a token unavailable to persons residing in the U.S. but has since traded that token in Uniswap, what does that mean for reporting? Good. That's another good question. Arcus would like to know, how do you report how do you report it if something is off chain like a tip.cc trade? Sparrow would like to know, so if you don't remove your liquidity from the pool, even if it's accruing fees, are there no taxes? Is it not considered a taxable event? Another good question. We still don't know that, right? Let me see. And Magic again says, so being charged based on actually having the income versus keeping it in as an investment. That's another good question. Is there a way to convert Dapper to USDC from Grevinator? These are all good questions because we don't know. I mean, depending on your region too, we don't know how that affects. Let's say if you're in Sparrow's region, you don't know if how accruing fees on something like that would affect you, or how you report it. It may be something totally different. Let me see.
Sure, I can offer.
Hold on 1 sec. Luxembourg just said they'd be really interested in hearing about UK crypto tax law, right? If all their work is paid in crypto, DAI, ETH, project token, and they draw, and basically if they exit their position, what you'll need to live on and hodl or invest the rest. How does capital gains get figured out, right? So how do capital gains work in the UK, right? If you'd like to unmute Luxembourg, definitely let me know. Right after MH shares his insight. MH, please go ahead.
Okay, so a couple things. I was just wanting to respond just to make sure that the Canadians know that there is no equivalent short-term, long-term capital gains consideration here. So there's no benefit in holding for a period of time versus anything else. But that's just Canada specific, as far as I know. I actually have not been able to retain the other topic that I was going to hop in on a second ago there, show. But these things happen. You understand.
Dude, it's all good. I get it. We're passionate about this particular subject and helping each other. And I appreciate that, by the way. So it's all good. You don't have to have the answer ready on hand, but it's all good. Next question. All right. So obviously the previous question was about what's the one question that you would need answered in order to make you feel comfortable about crypto taxes. This next thing kind of works in tandem. What is the one tool that you would need in order to handle the amount and or type of taxes that you need to file? Right? So what is the tool? What is the thing that you would need in order to facilitate this particular thing in order to make you feel comfortable?
Feel like I'm shilling CoinTracker over here still.
Well, honestly, we had the head of strategy literally right here. I wanted him to I had a bunch of questions, but I mean, he dipped out. I just didn't. If I didn't realize that, actually, he didn't make it clear. But if he while he was here, I could have easily just had him speak on it. But it's totally okay. It's all good. Please, Geffens, go ahead. If you had
Geffens?
any insight, I thought you did, but it's all good.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I have CoinTracker, and I basically tell it, here's my Coinbase account, here's my Kraken account, here's my couple other wallets I use, and it tracks everything for you. So it knows what you purchased in, it knows what your cost basis was coming in, which is interesting. If you buy in, remember that's you've paid that money. So if you lose that money, you can deduct it, and that tracks everything. Now I have some other wallets that I never put on there. Dapper is included as one of them, and they're not going to track it down very quickly. But if I were ever to make money off of them, I would probably put them there. But I have personal wallets where I use some coins just to actually buy things and give to friends for pizza and stuff. And that to me is like very much like an ATM. You can take out $500 in the U.S. and you're not going to be taxed on where that goes because it's under a certain amount. They don't really care. But when it comes to coins, they're going to care in the long term, but they're not going to find it. It's your working wallet.
Yeah, Vince, thanks for actually linking that. Literally, this whole time while I've been listening, I've been in CoinTracker.io trying. I put my wallet in there, and I'm trying to figure out this whole cost of basis stuff. But it's a really good site. I like it.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's huge. I really do think they did a great job. I think they're getting a little greedy for their plans, but it's a wonderful tool.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna. In addition to that, there's also another one too. I was gonna share. GB had one that he shared a long time ago, but I couldn't find the link though. It's unfortunate he's not here to share it again, but it's totally okay. Wait, I just want to circle back real quick. Vanilla DeFi. Vanilla Delphia. Excuse me. Had a good question. How is work paid in crypto handled in the U.S. Still taxes capital gains? Yeah, there's a. So I'm gonna play a YouTube / podcast clip from Unchained podcast. It answers a lot of our questions, you know. And even though we didn't have Shihan here to really speak pointedly about certain things, he speaks about many of these things that are here. I'll play that at the tail end so people have the choice of sticking around and watching and listening to the whole thing, or, you know, doing all the other things. But we haven't gotten to that point yet. So thank you, Geffins Coinly. That's another one. New Rose, again, just so you know, we're talking about crypto taxes. And how this affects not only you, but everyone in the space, because we don't know shit, right? We don't know shit. Well, actually, that's not true. It's the opposite. We know a lot. The only thing is we don't know where to apply it, right? We kind of have an idea, but we don't have a full idea. We need things filled out. Oh, thank you, Sparrow. Thank you for linking that right there. For Luxumbra. If you want to unmute and talk about that, by all means, either or. Some perspective from the UK, some perspective from Philippines, some perspectives, experience, y'all, and no pressure, y'all. Oh, Demon Tiger, but you can't just know art anymore. In order to be comfortable enough to do the art, you have to be able to do the paperwork. You know. Yeah. Oh, and hey, y'all. For the record, I know that you're writing a bunch of questions. I'm not overlooking you. These are all great questions. Again, so these are all great questions. Luxembourg just gave some insight. He's sharing a little. Yeah, they have a crypto-aware bookkeeper. I wish there were more crypto-aware bookkeepers, but we don't know, All right. So moving on to the next subject. Well, next question, right? Here's a two-parter here. We kind of been doing it, right? Here's the next one. Now, more pointedly, right? Because you've kind of been doing it, but I kind of want you to really double down, triple down. Don't hold back, right? So everyone can do as much research as they can, right? What are some of the resources that you've been looking at on your end? If you've been thinking about this, if you've been losing sleep like I have, what are some resources that you've been using? Some people here have done their crypto taxes before. What did you use? What was your experience? Yeah. I'm looking at Alex's meme and I'm just like, oh God. But seriously, I guess for those of you who have, even if you haven't, but you've been doing research, there are a number of people who are really good at research here. And I know that you've been compiling a bunch of things. You've actually spoken to your personal CPA, your personal accountant. Excuse me. Oh God, that's the coffee. Please let us know what sort of resources maybe your accountant has been using. What have they mentioned to you? Oh, I'm sorry, Katie. I'm trying to see above. Okay. CryptoTrader.tax. Okay. Oh, perfect. Thank you for sharing that. Crypto Trader Tax. All right. Does CryptoTrader.tax cover all forms for all of your income, or is it just crypto specific? If you're not going to use TurboTax again, Choina. My crypto tax from Sparrow. Easy in Crypto said your accountant told him to wait a year and move to the Cayman Islands. And yeah, Grevinator, good point. I'm gonna get to that in a second. Right. Right. It's like, how does the airdrop count? How do these tiny transactions with tip.cc? There's no legislation on that.
Someone was talking about TurboTax earlier. You can use any of these coin trackers and export the CVS, bring it into TurboTax, and see what it says. And if it looks good to you, you're probably good. If the numbers are crazy, that's where you might need some help.
Yeah. Oh shit. Shit. I think the latter part is what everyone is afraid of, right? Because it's like, what if TurboTax is trying to upsell you, like Katie said, and it's
Well,
just
you can
they
ignore
just
Turbo-
make the
ignore
fucking number
TurboTax.
up. They're like
Ignore
crypto.
TurboTax and give it all the information. They try to sell you at the end, and they try to make you pay to send it in. If you just want to get like a gut check, you could do it in an hour. Just rip through a TurboTax, fill it out a little bit, and drop in your coin tracker stuff.
Yeah, Rune. Thank you, by the way. Rune makes a good point about Puerto Rico, right? Like, so I don't know if everyone else has been. I've been kind of giving a hint, right? That I read a lot of crypto news, right? I wake up in the morning, first thing I do is read a bunch of crypto news, and I also check portfolio numbers and things like that, and any updates, right? Just so I'm knowledgeable as fuck about what I'm involved in, right? And I saw something about Puerto Rico that, like, I guess, see, this is where jurisdiction, right, matters, right? Even if it's a part of the U.S., but you still have all these things, right, involved. And like, who knows what's going on if that's the same thing in UK, you know, if you have an island or two or things, you know, or in the Philippines, you have an island, like, you don't know. We don't know what, like, how this applies, you know? So very good point to make. Very good point. Yeah, I mean, wait, MH, wait, never mind. Wait, MH, wait, what happened? I don't understand what just happened. Oh, okay. So MH was like, you guys are hilarious if you think any tax agency cares about small scale tips and shit. That's the thing. The thing is we don't know, but that's, shout out to MH. It's not about that. It's more a matter of the fear. It's the fear of not knowing. Things aren't clear. So we need to add as much clarity as possible in order for us to make actionable choices and decisions in the space. But shout out to MH. What else? Where are we at? Go ahead.
I was going to say, so those small transactions, he might be right, but what if one of them blows up? What if tomorrow, you know, ants goes up to a value of 1 cent and all of a sudden I'm a, you know, trillionaire?
Right. And then you exit your position, right, on Bitfinex or on Kraken, right? Then once it hits your bank account, right, don't the same rules apply? So there it is. Right?
And in that case, then they would be interested in those transactions. That's all I'm saying. It's
correct,
or maybe not. I don't know.
Right. But that's the whole point of this talk, right? Is to get rid of the we don't know, right? It's just to give us more armor, more tools in order to handle anything that may arise, you know? Like, we need to be knowledgeable. So we kind of have to know, but it's not that we don't have to obsess over the small transactions, right? Which is where I think maybe the lines got crossed there with MH. But you make a good point. You know, these airdrops happen constantly, and that's actually talked about. That's like a legit question in a podcast I'm going to play in a second. Last question before I transition, right? Let me see. Oh, actually, last two. What are some of the videos that you've been watching in regards to this? Speaking of podcasts and videos, has any you already shared a few, Nomad Capital, I saw there were a couple of others. Any videos, podcasts, right, in your research, you know, you come across? Any links to anything you've been following along with? I have a few, but I'm gonna share one I think is very helpful for everyone here. Wait, Katie, see, this is what I mean. Like, this is all NFA and DYOR. Katie just said, how have I been in this space less than a year, and crypto traders making me realize I've used 5 or more exchanges. I blame all of you for suggesting them with different pros and cons. See, that's what I mean, though. It's like, you do your own research before you jump, right? It's like, do your own research. NFA. All right, so it looks like no one has been finding any podcasts or links, and it's totally okay. It's fine, you know, it's cool. Here's the last question: who do you know that knows a lot about this subject? So who in the space, right? Let's say you do know a CPA who just so happens to be in the space, right? Who do you know? Is there anyone you know who's actually a financial advisor, right? Are there any financial advisors in the crypto space who know this shit, right? We just had one. No, I am not. Rune, do not tell people that shit. I am not, dude. I'm not. I mean, we literally just had a crypto CPA, literally with his name, right? Like his Discord handle is the crypto CPA. It's like, oh, gee, right? But in addition to that, right? Who do we know? You know, I mean, I think it matters, right? Dude, right? Easy. They gotta pay me in ants. They gotta pay me in ants. All the ants, like Grev said. So pay me in ants in order to fucking perform. Katie has a cousin who's a financial advisor, but a regular one. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's like it's this weird thing where like financial advisors are actually they're unaware of what's going on in the space. I mean, Spherical Art just spoke to his advisor. You know, I'm pretty sure many of you have spoken to yours, and the fact that they don't know about crypto or the intricacies too, we don't even know if they're able to help you. So we only know people who are in the space. Oh, Geffins, please. No, you don't. You don't know me. You don't know me. You see my face all the time. You don't know me. Oh God, Grev. See, NFA, Grev, NFA, DYOR. Do not get any advice from Dab Dragon, especially Fever Dream Dab Dragon. A side note, Dab Dragon just told everybody today that like I got beat badly on flow tokens on Uniswap. That is a lie. I did not, because I'm one of the first people who was aware of flow being only it's outside of the U.S. jurisdiction. So if you're in the U.S., you can't fucking buy it. So I was one of the first people who brought that up. Not that I got beat, but it's all good. He had to make a point to people, and I just played along with it. But oh God, Crypto Joe, please don't do that. Please don't do that. All right, so okay, that's enough talking, right? Yo, thank you everybody so far who's been rocking out. I appreciate all of you. This is what I'm gonna do next. Okay, I'm gonna transition. Oh no. Yeah, I mean, we still have this. We still have a bunch of time, but I actually want to make sure that. Oh God, no, don't you, Grevinator, no. Flow's on Kraken, but I don't want to expose myself to another marketplace. Truth be told, you know, because I'm not sure how that affect. I may have a Katie Laurie situation. No. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna transition, right?